it's a little rough, and we're both very hands-on parents. We're both very hands-on parents, and so we're kind of like staggering through it, but stumbling through it. But I find like we are finding moments of finding our groove.
You have these beautiful, beautiful baby boys. And, what was it like meeting them for the very first time?
It was terrifying.
Yeah.
I was like, oh God, are these my babies? It's such a weird thing. And, they were premature. And so that was really scary, having to go to the NICU. And some people just aren't into this baby phase, this baby stage, I think I'm certainly finding my way through it, but yeah. And everyone says like, don't rush it. They're going to grow up so fast, like try to enjoy the moment. So I'm really trying to do that.
Yeah. What I really loved about what you said recently is that you and Brian were very proactive before the babies came around, that you both went into therapy before this because you knew that it was going to put a strain on your marriage. How has that prepared you, and did it change your marriage in ways that you didn't expect?
Yeah, it certainly puts a strain on any relationship when you have, two little babies to take care of, and it's no longer about your needs. You're putting the needs of these kids before everything else. And so sometimes I think the downfall is that your relationship or things that you need personally gets put on the back burner. But I think it's really important to communicate, which is something that I'm working on, and try to nib things in the bud before the problem, persists or get bigger. And, I think there are moments certainly where we'll look at each other and we're just, the moment of breaking, and you're like, I need 5 minutes. Yeah. So I need to walk away for a second. And we give each other that space, which is great.
Yeah, no, I know it definitely takes a toll on your marriage in the beginning. And there's those moments where you just want to lock yourself in the bathroom and cry. And I've been there so many times.
Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah. I know. And I
profound respect and admiration for parents. It's something I didn't understand and didn't realize how difficult it was. And I'm in the position now, and I'm just in awe of the people who have made it through.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. I mean, you did say that you had postpartum depression, and you were very kind of resentful in a way after the babies, were born. How are you dealing with that now? I know, like you said, it's been challenging, and every day is a new challenge, but how are you kind of working through that? Because, that adds a whole other element to it.
Yeah, it's still something that I'm working through, but I think first is acknowledging that it's real and that it's there. I think a lot of people run into a lot of shame when they're like, it rocks your world having kids, and postpartum just means after birth, and this transition sometimes leads to anxiety, depression, angst, resentment. The whole spectrum of feelings, like you're feeling it all. And I think the important thing to do is to realize that, okay, this is what it is. Now, how do we work on that? You work on that by making sure that you give yourself time. You are kind to yourself and like gentle to your partner as well. And know that, these are certain things that you work through, but this uncomfortable feeling, like it's all temporary, like it all hopefully will pass, if you do the work. So I certainly think talking to a counselor is really helpful. Speaking to other parents, other moms, and realizing that it's such a common phase, and it's a common thing to feel postpartum depression. And a lot of people don't like talking about it, or they won't speak about it unless you bring it up to them. And so, yeah, certainly having a support group is really important. Calling in favors from your friends who have offered help to combine to kind of give you your space so you can just go off and do your thing, or run that errand, or just take a walk by yourself. It's so important having that support. And luckily we've had all the support from our friends and our family and like really everyone.
Yeah, yes. I love that. How has it been balancing work and mom life so far?
It is so hard.
Yeah.
I mean, even trying to do this interview, you can hear the baby in the background. And I just think it's like, okay, it's a little rough, and we're both very hands-on parents. We're both very hands-on parents, and so we're kind of like staggering through it, but stumbling through it. But I find like we are finding moments of finding our groove.
Definitely, you'll get there.
It's a work in progress by yeah, for sure.
Totally. And I know that obviously you're so busy with the babies and, you know, kind of doing everything, but I know that you're busy decorating their nursery. You teamed up with Babylist. I mean, what was that like? And what is kind of like the look that you were going for?
Well, it's not, well, I mean, we have a very bohemian California home, as you can see in the background, but what I love about Babylist was that my husband did all of the work. I was kind of in this mental space where I was like, no, I don't want to deal with that. It seems so overwhelming, which it is. You know, this whole journey of expecting parents is absolutely overwhelming. And luckily I had a great partner who put the list together, the registry together. He's the one that did all the research. You know, on Babylist website, there's all these videos and all these blog posts from vetted parents and users of like the 20 best jogging strollers or the best swaddles. And so I credit my husband for doing a lot of the work. But it's a universal baby registry, which I thought was pretty fascinating, because then once I got over the hump of, and the fear and the anxiety of, and the realization like, okay, these babies are coming and we have to absolutely plan. I started adding things to the list. And what was great about it is like, I'm not limited to a certain amount of, or only certain websites for baby stuff. It's universal, so you can tag anything, which I think is absolutely brilliant. And so for this room, even though in Los Angeles, we have a lot of temporary things for our baby room, because we're expecting to move back to New York sometime in May, therefore that will be the more permanent nursery. So it was kind of nice to pick out all the furniture and a lot of the things that we have in our LA home in terms of like the nanit, the dresser, the teaching peanut, all the essentials that you absolutely need. I was able to kind of, you know, include for my Babylist nursery. But what's amazing about this is like, it's a different experience than going to a Target or, you know, to a Bye Bye Baby, where you're just like overwhelmed with things and choices. What I love is like, everything's like set up as if it were your home. So even the kitchen had like, you know, baby food and toddler food. You can try the baby brezas. You can go to the backyard and they have like a little stroller track and all the different strollers lined up. And there were multiple strollers from Up a Baby that were for multiples, which I thought was really cool. And they have something called like a baby stroller track, where it's like a little obstacle course where you can like kind of take the stroller around. But it's absolutely genius. If you go into the bathroom, it includes all the things that you would need for a baby's bath. And you can hear my baby in the background.
Sorry.
So the nursery was also set up in a way that's really user-friendly, and they have experts on hand to answer any questions. And it's absolutely genius. And I wish I had this experience prior to having our kids, because I found it so helpful, and it really kind of is such a relaxed, informative environment, and you're not crazily overwhelmed. Like I did find it extremely helpful.